Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. 7:08 p.m. I was going to say a.m., but it is p.m. It is Friday, the 21st of March. Not with the big blue mug of coffee. Too late for coffee, folks. I've got a cup of tea here tonight. And I saw a couple of videos back-to-back on X tonight, and I thought it'd make an interesting video. Just a quick one here. One of Pierre Poilievre, one of Danielle Smith, and I'm going to show you a tweet from Doug Ford in Ontario, and show you how we have a divide in this country between East and West. I did a video yesterday, Danielle Smith drawing a line in the sand between Alberta and Ottawa, particularly between Alberta and the Liberal Party and Mark Carney, with a list of demands for our oil and gas industry. Things like the No Pipelines Act, getting rid of it, getting rid of the tanker ban on the coast, getting our oil and gas out of Alberta. And she basically said if we don't have those demands met, we'll have a national unity crisis. She's taken it on the chin from a lot of people who say she's not being all Team Canada and everything, but I applaud the Premier. She is one tough lady. We're going to hear from her in just a moment. Pierre Poilievre was having a rally today. He was at a factory or something, and one of the reporters asked him if he would abide by all of the demands of Danielle Smith. So listen to what he says here. But the other thing that's really interesting to think about when you hear this, Poilievre knows everything about Mark Carney. He has studied this man. I think he has a photographic memory, and it is going to be wonderful to see him go up against Mark Carney in the debate. I think he's going to destroy him. He has an amazing memory, and he's got it right on the tip of his tongue as soon as he needs it. So watch this video. Again, he's being asked about abiding by the rules Danielle Smith set out when she had a press conference here in Alberta just yesterday.
Mark Carney was in Edmonton yesterday to meet with Danielle Smith. Shortly after the meeting, Smith put out a list of demands for the next Prime Minister, including, among other things, ending the prohibition on single-use plastics. She said if these demands were not met within 6 months of the new mandate, there would be a national unity crisis. Are you willing to commit right now to meeting the demands that Premier Smith has enumerated?
I think Premier Smith's demands are very reasonable. You'll have to see the rest of our platform roll out in due course, but she was making clear that Mark Carney's using weasel words. He's pretending that he suddenly, 30 days before an election, changed his entire radical, net zero, keep it in the ground ideology. Mr. Carney, I can't even believe he would have the audacity to show up in Edmonton. He opposed the Northern Gateway Pipeline in a committee testimony while his company was buying pipelines in the Middle East. That pipeline would have created jobs for Edmontonians. It would have been a boom for Northern Alberta. And all the money that would have rushed into Edmonton would have created opportunities. And he opposed it. It's on the record. He supports carbon taxes in Canada while he invests in American coal. Yesterday, his environment minister confirmed that the energy cap will stay in place if the Liberals are in office. So, despite the fact that they're trying to put on this mask last minute before the election, make no mistake, a fourth Liberal term will be exactly like the previous three.
Poilievre definitely on the side of Danielle Smith, her demands, and he's on the side of logical Canadians who understand what is at stake in this next coming election. But what about Danielle Smith? Is she on Pierre Poilievre's side? Well, I'm not sure where she is when she's speaking here, but watch this ringing endorsement. This is the Westminster chimes of endorsements, and then I'm going to show you how the East-West divide is getting bigger when I show you a tweet from Doug Ford.
My friends, there is only one real choice for Canada for our next Prime Minister. There is only one leader who will dismantle the nation-killing policies of the Liberals and NDP, and that, my friends, is Federal Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre. I have faith that Pierre will unleash Canada's energy sector like we have never seen before. He will free Alberta from being landlocked by the federal laws and policies we've had to endure. He will bring back law and order to our cities and fix the Liberals' open border immigration system. He will fix the bloated budget. He will rebuild our distinguished military and end the leftist lunacy that we have had to suffer under for 10 long years.
No waffling from Danielle Smith. She's all on board Team Poilievre. She knows what's at stake here. She said that there would be a national unity crisis if all those things aren't done, and with the Liberal government and Mr. Net Zero, Mark Carney, those things won't be done. The things she asked for will not be done with the Liberal government. Poilievre will do them. Everything he said in his clip will come true. Now let's go to Doug Ford in Ontario. This shows you the divide between the East and the West. Doug Ford tweets this out today. Team Canada is strong and united. Well, before I go any further, Team Canada is not strong. It might be united, but I think everybody is in it for themselves here. Nothing has been accomplished by Team Canada. Do you realize it's now been 4 months since Donald Trump first threatened Canada with tariffs and nothing has been resolved? 4 months. And if an election is called on Sunday, it'll be 5 months and nothing will be done. And then it'll be within 30 days, they have to be back in Parliament after an election. It could be the end of May before we're back. That would be 6 months. And the end of June, early July, they're going to go on summer vacation. Nothing has been accomplished by Team Canada. If you're on Team Canada, you're on a losing team. But anyway, he says this. Today, Prime Minister Mark J. Carney and Canada's premiers agreed on the need to cut red tape and streamline approvals to get big things built faster. Blah, blah, blah. From Doug Ford, so-called conservative in Ontario. This man has endorsed Mark Carney a couple of times now. And you may say, well, he's only sticking up for his province. Listen. We need all hands on deck for the conservative movement in Canada. And an election is probably 2 days away. And Doug Ford is endorsing Mark Carney. I followed up this tweet with this right here. I live in Alberta. Ontario voters will be the death of Canada, but hasten my dream of Alberta independence. All the Liberals need is Ontario and a few votes from out east. They don't care about Alberta. Carney being in Edmonton yesterday meant nothing. It meant nothing at all. He was just putting on airs showing up here yesterday. All they need is the east, and Doug Ford is supporting Mark Carney right now. Now, as far as Alberta independence goes, I was contacted by one of the independence groups here in Alberta. They wanted to send me some correspondence, and I said, well, I would like to do an interview with somebody from your organization, because in the correspondence they initially sent me, they said the independence groups in Alberta are unifying. And that's been the problem since I've got involved with Alberta independence. All the groups were doing their own thing. Apparently, they're getting together. A poll coming out the other day saying that, was it Rachel Emmanuel? Pardon me if I got her name wrong. 40% of Albertans right now say they would vote in favor of independence. So I'm working on an interview for that, hopefully for the beginning of the week, middle of next week, because Alberta independence is on the rise. Tomorrow morning, I've got a video popping up talking about how Pierre Poilievre is the man to be the Prime Minister. He has all the credentials, and he has better credentials than Mark Carney, despite what leftists are trying to tell you online. So watch for that early tomorrow morning, about 7 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock here in the Mountain Time Zone. Thanks very much for watching this. I do appreciate it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're at 15,200 now. My God, thanks so much. Let's get to 16,000. That'd be awesome. So click on that subscribe. I'll ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.